Imagine this tradition, stretching back thousands of years. A weekly pause, right?
Hmm.
Woven into the fabric of Jewish life, across the globe through everything.
Hmm.
And here in Israel, its ancient homeland, Shabbat, well, it feels even deeper somehow.
It really does.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into experiencing Shabbat in Israel, specifically for you as a kosher traveler.
Right, what to actually expect.
Exactly. Our goal is to give you a real feel for it so you can, not just see it, but really get this unique, peaceful rhythm.
It's amazing, actually, watching that shift happen across Israel as Friday goes on. It's subtle, but significant.
Even with two-day weekend being more common now.
Yeah, even so, there's still this palpable feeling of anticipation for Shabbat. You'll see people maybe knocking off work a bit earlier.
Like a collective breath before the quiet.
That's a good way to put it. A collective breath before the day of rest really starts.
And that pre-Shabbat energy, it really kicks off in the food markets on Fridays, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Forget your standard supermarket run.
Right. These places just transform. They become these vibrant herbs.
Totally. Stalls piled high with special Shabbat foods and the smell.
Oh, the smell. That sweet warmth from the fresh challah, maybe some savory kugel, those, distinct spices. It's just...
It hits all your senses. It really does.
And it's more than just shopping, isn't it? It seems so social.
Exactly. That preparation is deeply social. Especially, say, in Tel Aviv, you'll see people meeting up in cafes on Friday.
For lunch?
Yeah, but often a relaxed lunch, maybe a salad, or that classic Israeli breakfast eggs, cheese, bread. It's less about a big meal because you're planning for Shabbat dinner later.
So more about connecting, seeing people.
Precisely. Connecting, soaking up that Friday afternoon vibe. But something to keep in mind is that these places start closing up as Shabbat gets closer.
Right, earlier than usual.
Yeah, usually around 3 or 4 p.m., maybe a bit later in the middle of summer when the days are longer, but you need to be aware of it.
Okay, and then as Friday evening approaches, you have the candle lighting. That's quite a moment.
It's beautiful. And what's striking is how widespread it is. Even families who aren't, strictly religious often observe it.
You can find the times online pretty easily, right?
Oh, yes. The exact times are always published. And it's good to know that hotels, pretty much all types, luxury, boutique, guest houses, they make it easy for guests to light candles too.
That's helpful.
Which brings up a practical thing, actually.
Like, what if you realize last minute you need something? Challah, wine.
Exactly. The good news is it's usually quite easy. Your local grocery, the Mekolet or Delis, those little convenience stores, often family-run places.
They stay open late.
They do. They're often stocked with wine, grape juice, challah, candles, and yeah, many stay open right until the last possible minute on Friday afternoon. They know people need things. You find them on almost every corner in the cities.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, for many visitors, synagogue services are a big part of the Shabbat experience they're looking for.
Definitely. And that's something you can absolutely build into your trip.
Like Kabbalat Shabbat on Friday evening, welcoming the Sabbath.
Right, or the Saturday morning prayers. And often, with a bit of planning, you can find a synagogue that's, welcoming and within walking distance of where you're staying.
And there's quite a range in Israel, isn't there?
Oh, a huge spectrum of Jewish worship. From Reform all the way to ultra-Orthodox, different customs, different tunes.
You can even find synagogues reflecting different ethnic backgrounds.
Yes, exactly. Sephardi, Ashkenazi, Yemenite. It adds this a whole other layer of cultural richness. And experiencing services in places like Jerusalem or Safed or even Tel Aviv, they each have their own special feel.
Let's talk about what to wear.
Yeah.
Israel's generally super casual, right?
Yeah.
Shorts, T-shirts.
Very relaxed day to day. But for synagogue, it's different. It's not about being super formal, but more about showing respect.
So, basic guidelines.
For men, generally trousers, a shirt, and a kippah the skull cap.
Okay.
For women, modest clothing is the custom, covering arms and legs. And it's always worth checking if a particular synagogue has any other requests, maybe a hat or a headscarf for women.
Good tip. Now, food. Shabbat meals. Kosher dining. What are the options?
Well, the luxury hotels in Israel, they've really got this down to an art. They often do fantastic Shabbat dinners.
Like prepaid options, buffets.
Exactly. You can often arrange prepaid meals, and the buffets can be quite elaborate. The quality of Shabbat food services for tourists is generally exceptionally high. You're in for a treat.
Sounds great. But what about something maybe more intimate, like a home experience?
That's a really special possibility. If you're interested, it's often possible to get connected with local families who enjoy hosting guests.
Wow, that would be amazing.
It really is. Sharing a meal, trying traditional dishes like cholent, that slow-cooked stew, or gefilte fish, kugel, things made from recipes passed down generations. Real Israeli hospitality.
That sounds incredible. And beyond the classic Ashkenazi dishes, Israel's such a melting pot of cuisines.
Absolutely. A real mosaic of Jewish food traditions from all over. Tripolitanian, Iraqi, Persian, Yemenite, Bukharan.
Can you find restaurants serving these?
Oh, yes. You can get great recommendations. And sometimes there are even cookery classes if you want to try making some of these things yourself.
Okay, shifting gears a bit.
Mm.
Transportation. This is crucial for Shabbat planning,
It's
right?
hugely important. Public transport trains, most buses, it just stops on Friday afternoon completely.
So relying on that last bus is a bad idea.
A very bad idea. Don't do it. Even a small delay could strand you. Plan to travel earlier in the day. Give yourself plenty of time.
And it can get crowded towards the end of the week.
Yeah, sometimes quite crowded, especially with soldiers heading home for the weekend, so factor that in too.
But you're not totally stuck. There are other options.
Fortunately, yes. Shared taxis, the Moniat Shurit, you see those minivans running set routes.
They just pick up and drop off along the way.
Exactly. You can also get private taxis, chauffeur services, and hotels can usually help arrange transport for guests.
Any exceptions, like local buses?
In some places, maybe for residents going to the beach, you might find special municipal buses, but it's not the norm for general travel. Don't count on it everywhere.
Okay. What about getting around within a city, say Tel Aviv on Shabbat?
Tel Aviv is pretty easy, actually. It's mostly flat, very walkable, and great for cycling, too.
Though maybe not midday in August.
Huh. Yeah, probably avoid the peak heat or a really rainy winter day, but generally very manageable on foot or bike.
In Jerusalem. More hills there.
Definitely hillier. It makes extensive walking a bit more challenging, sure. But if you plan a route carefully, walking in Jerusalem on Shabbat can still be absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere is unique.
So what do people do on Shabbat? Assuming they're not in synagogue all day.
Right, and it's important to remember observance varies a lot from family to family, person to person.
So your choices depend on your preferences and what's common locally.
Exactly. In Jerusalem, for instance, it tends to be quieter, more reflective.
So maybe walks in parks.
Yeah, lovely walks in parks, exploring the old city on foot, just being mindful in the more religious neighborhoods, of course. Or hiking the trails around the city.
And the Western Wall service. Kabbalat Shabbat there.
Oh, that's a really unique Jerusalem experience. Even if you're not particularly religious yourself, being there, feeling that connection to history, it can be incredibly moving.
Powerful. And Tel Aviv. You said it's more active.
Much more active generally, being more secular. The beaches are packed. People enjoying the sun, the sea.
Makes sense.
The renovated old port area up north is great for a stroll. And Park Hyricon, that huge green space, people walk along the river, explore the gardens, the lakes, the little forest there.
Are things like tours running? Or museums?
Surprisingly, yes, sometimes. You can find private guided tours operating in Jaffa, the old city, or the Modern Artists Quarter. And the Tel Aviv Museum of Art, for example, is usually open on Shabbat.
Interesting. You know, regardless of where you are, Shabbat seems like a built-in chance for a digital detox.
Absolutely. It's a perfect opportunity. Consider just switching off the phone, the laptop for 25 hours.
Just disconnect.
Yeah. Read a book, take a nap, talk to people, just be present without the constant buzz of technology. It can be quite refreshing.
Then Saturday evening comes, Motzei Shabbat, the end of Shabbat.
Right. And you feel this shift again. Israel starts to kind of wake back up.
Shops reopening, transport starting.
Exactly. Malls, bars, restaurants open their doors. Public transport gets going again. There's this sense of the week starting.
And there's a ritual for ending Shabbat too, Havdalah.
Yes, the Havdalah ceremony. It's lovely. Blessings, smelling sweet spices, lighting a special braided candle. It marks the separation between the holy day and the weekday.
Can visitors usually attend those?
Often, yes. Guests are generally very welcome at Havdalah services.
And if you're in Tel Aviv on a Saturday night?
It gets lively again. Maybe not quite Thursday night peak levels, but streets like Rothschild, Dizengoff, the cafes and bars fill up. It's a nice way to ease out of Shabbat and into the week.
So when you boil it all down, experiencing Shabbat in Israel, it's more than just a day off.
So much more. It's stepping into this living tradition, thousands of years old, seeing a cornerstone of Jewish family, community life, up close.
It's a chance to feel the peace, the warmth.
Exactly, that beauty, that tranquility, and connecting with ordinary Israelis, sharing that unique rhythm. And remember, you can often arrange specific Shabbat experiences, maybe through guided tours in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Safe, Tiberias, these
Yeah.
really significant places.
Right. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. In our world that's always on, always connected, what could you gain from intentionally disconnecting just for a day?
It's something to think about, maybe even something to try wherever you call home.